We are officially in the dog days of summer, but that doesn't mean we can't look forward to year number 3 of the Joey McGuire era out in Lubbock. In today's video, we'll look where Vegas has the Red Raiders finishing in the Big 12, as well as their, Big 12 title odds, and much, much more. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. If you haven't already, like the video, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech football all year long right here on the largest group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube, over 10,000 strong right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel. All right, we got a lot of fun things to discuss today, so I'm not going to bore you with the promo stuff. Let's get right into this. But before we do, we got to take a look at the football schedule for the Red Raiders in 2024. And you can see it at the bottom of your screen with dates and where they will be playing. Reason being is this. This will be the, groundwork, the foundation upon you making a decision, at least early on in June, right, on if Texas Tech will go over, under their win total, and if they have a chance to maybe be potentially playing in Arlington in November. But let's start. You start with Abilene Christian at home on the last day of August. Then you head up to Pullman, Washington, where you will have a 9 p.m. Central Time kickoff. Get your coffee ready, folks. Maybe if you're a Celsius guy or gal, you'll drink a Celsius too. Then you come home the next week for a 3-week homestand if you're Texas Tech, starting with Emo coming back. Eric Morris coming back as the North Texas head coach, where it will be an 11 a.m. kickoff for the Red Raiders against the Mean Green. Then they will face off against, a team new to the Big 12 in the Arizona State Sun Devils, a team that's going to be, you'll see here in just a second, picked really, really low in the conference, as is Cincinnati. Those are your two Big 12 opening games from a, homestand perspective. Then you head out to Arizona. Who knows what the Wildcats are going to be with Brennan there as the coach, now with their coach leaving for Washington. Then you get a bye week. You got Baylor coming in. So again, you look at this. 3 of your first 4 Big 12 games are at home. You only really travel twice all the way up to October 25th if you're Texas Tech. You got to do some damage there. You play Baylor, then you go to TCU the last week of October. Then you face off against the Cyclones up in Ames the first week of November. You got Coach Prime coming into the 806 on November 9th. You have another bye week before finishing your schedule in Stillwater. And then your last home game of the year, Senior Day, will be against the West Virginia Mountaineers. All right. Let's look at the Texas Tech football and the Big 12 over-under win totals. This from Circa out in Vegas. You will see them at the bottom of your screen. Leading the way are the Utah Utes at 9.5. You got Kansas State not too far behind with 9. And for those that don't know, 9, a push right there, those are not fun sometimes, in my opinion. But then you got Kansas at 3. Texas Tech actually with the third best win total projection in terms of over-under, according to Circa, tied with the Jayhawks at 8. Now, the over is juiced just a little bit at plus 105. Then you got Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Arizona, UCF, TCU, West Virginia, Colorado, Cincinnati, Baylor, Arizona State, BYU, and Houston. Now, it is 8 over at Circa, but if you go look at other sports books such as Caesars and FanDuel, they have the Red Raiders over-under win total at 7.5. So I'm going to ask you a question, getting a little interactive here on the most interactive Texas Tech YouTube channel. Let me know down in the comments below. And all you got to do is type O for over or U for under. Gut feeling right now, I get it. It's the middle of June. A lot can change. Are you taking the over or the under 7.5 wins for the Red Raiders in 2024? Let me know down in the comments below. I'll have it on the pinned comment. All right, let's jump into, the Big 12 title odds. And we'll give my opinions here at the end. I want to give you guys all the information so that way y'all can make a, educated guess when I'm talking about it at the end here. You look at it for Texas Tech in terms of the Big 12 title odds. And this is always interesting. We got the 5 leading sports books down there at the bottom. FanDuel has the Red Raiders tied for 5th in terms of best odds to win the Big 12 at plus 1,000 with the Wildcats of Arizona. Same as DraftKings, but they're alone are the Red Raiders in 5th at plus 1,000. Caesars comes in tied for 4th of the Red Raiders at plus 900 with Arizona and Kansas. BetMGM has the Red Raiders tied for 5th at plus 1,000 with the Cyclones of Iowa State. And then Bet365 has the Red Raiders in sole possession of the 5th best odds to win the Big 12 at plus 800. Now, when you look at DraftKings in terms of some interesting names and where they are in terms of winning the Big 12 title, Utah leads the way at plus 330. Not too far behind are the Wildcats of Kansas State at plus 350. There is a significant drop-off after those two teams, and I think that that's more than fair. I really do believe those are the two best teams in the Big 12 as of right now. Now, an interesting one is Oklahoma State at plus 1,200. I don't understand that, quite frankly, but it is what it is. Then you go down, everybody seems to be interested in Coach Prime and where Colorado is. They're at plus 3,500, so 3,500 down there. And to round it all out over at DK, the worst odds to win the Big 12 are plus 12,000, and it is for the Cougars of BYU. Now, for me, and I'll put this question back at the bottom of the screen right here, when you look at the schedule for the Red Raiders, again, you have 7 home games: Abilene Christian, North Texas, Arizona State, Cincinnati, Baylor, Colorado, West Virginia. I think there's a real scenario there where you can go 6-1 at home. Okay, so you got bowl eligibility there. Winning on the road has not really been the forte of the Red Raiders really for a while now, but it does feel like, okay, now you got more depth in terms of those recruiting classes that Joey McGuire has had, becoming more impactful. You went out and hyper-targeted some guys in the portal in terms of playmakers on the outside for Baron Morton. Taj Brooks is coming back. You saw him in the thumbnail. I know you did. So you look at that. Again, you travel once if you're Texas Tech before October 25th. Think about that for a second. You have a real chance if you're Texas Tech to start the year off with a win at Abilene Christian. Hard to win on the road, but Washington State is absolutely going through it with that shift in terms of not being a part of the Pac-12 anymore, not getting an invite to really any other power conference. They're going to be hungry right there to prove some people wrong in terms of, hey, we should have gotten an invite. But the Red Raiders are a more talented team. So let's just say they win there. That's 2. Then you got North Texas. You are a more talented team than Arizona State and Cincinnati. There's a real scenario there for Texas Tech where at worst the Red Raiders should start out 4-1, okay? Let's say they lose at Arizona. They're either 4-2 or 5-1 going into that. Then you play Baylor at home. You are a better team than Baylor, okay? So now, depending on where you're at here, you're 6-1 or you're 5-2. I'll just play, glass half empty here and say 5-2. At TCU, at Iowa State, I think you win one of those games. Okay, so again, I'm looking at this. You already beat Abilene Christian. That's one win. I'll say it's a loss for Washington State just because of it's on the road, right? So just handle business at home, and you're looking at Abilene Christian, North Texas, Arizona State, Cincinnati, and Baylor. You're at 5 wins before you go to TCU and Iowa State back-to-back, okay? Let's just say you win one of those games. You're 6-3, right? You look at that. Okay, you got Colorado at home. You're a better team than Colorado. They got more star power, but when it comes down to the next maybe 8 to really 12 guys on the roster, you probably have better guys. I'm just, that's what it is, right? So you should win that game. And then if you split Oklahoma State and West Virginia, you're at 8 wins, okay? I think that's realistic. I think that that's more than fair in terms of everything. Now, I will say this. A lot is predicated on the health of Baron Morton. And by the way, he looks like he's ready to go, right? So again, that's my thought process right now. I'm not going to tell you if I'm going to go over or under, even though I kind of laid it out for you right there. Still some time, but I want to hear from you guys in terms of, are you taking right now, and you have the authority to change your mind. I get it. It's June. I really do, but I think it's fun to look at this right now in the slower period of time when really recruiting seating up for the Red Raiders, but in terms of anything happening on the field, there's not much. I want to hear from you guys. Do you think Texas Tech goes over or under their projected 7.5 win total according to Vegas? All right, I'm RC Maxfield reminding you, if you want to join the most interactive and largest group of Texas Tech fans and really just stay in the know all year long right here on YouTube, it's really easy. Do these 3 simple steps for me. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech football and men's basketball all year long right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.